Grüezi miteinander, ganz herzlich willkommen und einen wunderschönen guten Tag, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, liebe Freunde aus nah und fern. Ich begrüße Sie zu einer weiteren Sondersendung von Weltwoche Daily, die andere Sicht, unabhängig, kritisch, gut gelaunt, aufgezeichnet am Mittwoch, dem 3. Juli 2024. Ich bin zurück aus Kiew, befinde mich jetzt in Budapest, auch eine interessante, schöne Stadt, jetzt sommerlich leicht mit etwas bewölktem Himmel und wie es halt sich dann so ergibt, man lernt interessante Menschen kennen und kaum sitze ich da im wunderbaren Kaffeehaus Scherbo, sitzt mir ein Mann gegenüber aus den Vereinigten Staaten, er ist Wirtschaftsprofessor, hat den letzten Monat in Ungarn verbracht, ist mit einer Ungarin verheiratet und hat hier verschiedene Vorlesungen gemacht, Events und heute wird er, deshalb machen wir nur ein kurzes Interview, deshalb wird er zurückfahren via andere Stationen in die Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Aber es ist eben sehr interessant, weil in den USA passiert viel, passieren auch viel verstörende Dinge und auch interessante Dinge, schöne Dinge selbstverständlich auch. Aber ich werde jetzt auf Englisch wechseln, damit unser Gast uns versteht. Es handelt sich um Professor Christopher Ball. Er ist der Director of the Central European Institute, ist Spezial Chair in International Economics, Honorary Hungarian Consul und er ist auch Wirtschaftsprofessor an der amerikanischen Ostküste, Quinnipiac University, das ist ein indianischer Name, ist eine private Universität. Professor Ball, I give you in the name of Switzerland a very warm welcome. Great to meet you, great to have this possibility for a quick chat. How are you? How is it in Hungary? What is the atmosphere here in Budapest for the American guest?
It's very good to meet you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I've been here in Hungary now about a month. It's been beautiful, hot. We have some American students with us. They absolutely love Budapest. It's safe, it's clean. They're working on research projects. Some of them are working at companies here, and they always love it, and they always come back. So it's been a good summer so far.
Everybody talks about the United States of America. Everybody talks about this TV debate we had. What was your assessment? What was your impression when you watched it here in Hungary? I guess you watched it.
I watched, yeah. I ended up watching about half of it, which is all I could take. It was really sad. I was shocked that they let Joe Biden go on with such obvious and clear mental aging problems, dementia, I guess. They, of course, set up the debate format to benefit Biden, but I think it only helped Trump, who came across looking much more calm and relaxed, and he didn't need to be aggressive. He could just let Biden, in the US, we say essentially hang yourself with the extra rope. Mm-hmm. And so, as an American, it's absolutely embarrassing for me that this is the state of our presidency.
But fortunately, the United States are still running somehow, so not everything depends on the president. The country has other functioning entities. Do you think the Democrats will try to get rid now of Biden? Is that even possible, or is it difficult to, because he doesn't seem to let go? He insisted, I want to stay.
I was absolutely convinced on Friday after the election and over the weekend that he would be gone. They would definitely have to change him out, and he has insisted he wants to stay. It is his choice as the main candidate, and they have to have the electors vote for him. And as I understand right now, based on the news, maybe it's not accurate, it's just from news this morning, that they're talking about even having the electors vote for him early, so they secure him as the position, which is completely crazy to me.
That would mean
they'll lose. That means they'll lose. They will lose, and they'll probably lose House and Senate seats as well.
If they take another candidate, this would be somehow the confession that probably a president with age-caused mental deficits was running the country. Can the Democrats afford to change? Is that not a credibility problem for the party, or could that be a smart move because a new candidate, a young candidate, could probably change the situation in the race, which now looks very good for Donald Trump?
I think no matter what, I think the big issue is Thursday, everybody saw that this is already the case. Yeah. So they revealed this truth that they have been letting this person run in the position of president. Somebody must be making decisions. Probably he makes some, but clearly he's not mentally capable to be executive. Yeah. This is a national security problem now, and it was revealed on Thursday. So they can no longer pretend it's not true.
And they must have known that he was not in his best state.
Exactly. So the question is who knew and how were they covering this up?
And who runs the United States? I mean, who ran the United States in the last 4 years, probably?
Absolutely. And there's wild speculation right now, but that's what was so shocking on Thursday, that it was revealed publicly to the world. And I don't know, if I were running the party, the Democratic Party, I would change him out and use it as an excuse. We didn't know. Mm-hmm. We have to change him now. They have some young candidates that maybe, they talk about Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan or Gavin Newsom for California.
Michelle Obama.
Everybody talks about Michelle Obama. She's probably the only one who could step in and potentially beat Trump at this point. But as far as I understand, she has absolutely no interest in it. But I don't think they're going to do it. I just... And time is ticking away. Yeah. Some people say it's not possible anymore, or like this month is the last possible chance because you have to file for a change, something like so many weeks in advance, and their time is ticking away by the minute.
But why did they accept this TV debate? Because the strategists of the Democratic Party must have known that Biden is not in a good shape, that he's too old probably. There have been many videos. Frankly speaking, I expected him to do worse. I was positively surprised after all the impressions we had. What do you think? Why did the Democrats agree to reveal this inconvenient truth to the general public?
It's a really good question. I have no idea. I also have absolutely no possible idea why you would do this. Yeah. If you're cynical, you say the people who wanted him changed, let him be revealed, but you probably destroy your whole ship by just making this one change. And the other is, I think Trump was brilliant in accepting anything they recommended. Yeah. So he said, we'll debate. Okay, anytime, anywhere, any place. They said CNN, no crowd, this, and he accepted. I don't think they expected that. Maybe they expected a fight, but once it's set, you have to go. But they prepared him for a week. Whoever prepared him for a week must have known. Why didn't they say in the last minute, he's medical, he has to go to the hospital, something?
Probably overconfidence. They thought that Donald Trump is so much disliked by many people that he would run under the bus himself, that he would self-destruct by being not nice, by being too harsh, by being too aggressive. So they thought probably they couldn't get away with it. So it was probably hybris. How do you call it?
Yeah. Hubris. Yeah, hubris. Absolutely. I think they definitely believed he would be angry and aggressive, and maybe it looks even worse if Biden looks old and now but it's the opposite. And I have to say, Donald Trump has been very smart this campaign. His comments like, are you going to look for retribution against your opponents? No, success will be my retribution. These are smart things. He's playing it intentionally calm and relaxed, and it just completely blew up in their face.
And what did you think about his performance? What kind of Trump did you see? I mean, as an American citizen, you follow this former president necessarily since quite some time. What was your impression about Trump's performance?
I thought he did fine. I mean, he doesn't play as well without the crowd, but he just seemed like Trump. He avoided questions and put them back on the other guy and just played calm and relaxed, and I could feel him just letting the structure work in his favor. You could just see him cleverly playing it off. So I think he had a decent performance. there wasn't a lot of new information from him, but I think he played it very well.
In Europe, there is some slight or even open panic that a second presidency of Donald Trump could happen again. What's your assessment? You're an economics professor. The people wrote articles in serious newspapers saying, well, if Trump comes, this would be a nightmare for the economy. He's so bad. I mean, what's your assessment of Donald Trump if he would? I mean, what would you think about it?
Yeah, well, one, they said this before he won the last time. The prediction was the stock market would crash the next morning, that the economy would collapse in a month, and none of it was true. We did have a very, very strong economy. He was very good on lowering taxes, on deregulating, and trying to let the economy be a little free and build itself. He plans to do the same thing. I think the concerns for me, we have massive debt and deficit problems in the U.S. I don't know that he has a really good plan to bring those down. He didn't during his administration. He says he does. Let's see what he plans to do. I think it's questionable, all of this trade tariffs, and I'm very sorry as an economist. I like to see free trade. But then Biden's raising tariffs on products as well. So I don't see him as a disaster for the economy. I mean, it was a very good economy under his last administration. I don't see any reason to think it's going to be a disaster.
They say he's utterly unpredictable. This is what people also in Switzerland say, entrepreneurs say, who would be on the, you could say, either rather conservative side, but they would say, no, Trump is totally erratic, he's unpredictable. Is he that predictable? What's your assessment? I mean, you see a bit more, you're closer to the whole thing.
I think Trump responds naturally to everything. And so he has some very good instincts, and so sometimes we all wish he would not say things he says, but he just responds as he sees it. He's a pragmatist. So I think what people don't like is that he doesn't have a guiding philosophy that he's trying to follow. He just is very pragmatic. Let's have more businesses succeed. What do we need to do? Lower some taxes, lower some regulation. Great, let's do that. It's not part of a bigger philosophy. And I think that leaves people uncertain. But the most erratic thing about him is his comments. He really likes to fight, and he'll comment back, but his policies, these take months and years to implement. It's not, you don't just change everything on a dime.
In Europe, a big topic, of course, is the war in Ukraine. This is more distance for the United States. I was struck during the debate that he said, I will end this war even before I enter the office, which shows, whatever hyperbole that is, it shows that he puts a priority on this topic, which is to European ears, I would say, a good news, because for us this war is really very important. For an American citizen, for an American, you live in the United States, you have good relationship to Europe as well. How do you see this war? How important is this war for the Americans? What did you think about this statement that he will have a certain priority to this topic, which is, quite far away for the Midwest American?
So right now, I don't think the war in Ukraine is a big topic in the U.S. It lost popular interest months ago, or maybe a year ago, because it's been continuing. So Americans right now are pretty divided on ending everybody would like to end the war. The question is, does it include pushing out Russia? Does it how do you end it? But it's not a hot topic for Americans. It's being used politically as a topic, as a choice. You can do the war or you can do the border, which is a little bit fake, but that's the only place it's playing a role. I don't know how Americans feel about it right now, because it's not, especially since the Israel conflict, I think it's declined as an issue. He said this several times. When I'm in office, I'll solve it in 24 hours. We can like or not like his solution. I think he can do it, but because he'll go for solutions that people don't want to consider. I'll pull support, I'll do whatever. I don't know how he does it before he's in office. That's a little much.
I mean, but for a European perspective, one can say this is a priority which is at least considering some of the European concerns, because we want this war urgently to end. What would the president, my final question, what would the a second presidency of Donald Trump mean to the world? What do you think, and what would it mean to Europe? You have been in Hungary. You have good connections to the old world. What would you expect? What does it mean, a second presidency for Europe, for the world? Is it a good? Would that be good news or bad news for the world?
Certainly, the opinions differ. I think a change from Biden is essential for the world. I think his presidency has been a complete disaster. Trump challenged old relationships, so he'll call NATO to stand up again or not, be a part of it. He'll push and fight for America's interest first, but I think he will be a pro-peace president. I mean, so in that regard, it's good, and I think in terms of trade, I said I'm worried about sort of these battles. In that regard, it's sort of negative. Anyway, we'll see.
I wrote, very last question, I wrote in one of my editorials that his philosophy of America first is actually good news for the world, because it doesn't mean that the United States wants to dominate everything, but it means that he wants to take care of the United States first, but he gives the respect and the right, of course, to every other country to follow its own national interest. So he's not like an imperialist neocon president who wants to save the world and beat democracy in every country. Is that a correct assessment? Do you agree, or am I wrong when I'm saying America first means actually less American wish to dominate, to shape the rules and everything?
I think you're right. I see it the exact same. How do you elect your own president or prime minister if they don't consider their own people first and its well-being? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't, I take care of my family first. That doesn't mean I'm against my neighbor family. So I see.
And you don't want to tell the other family how they should run their family.
Exactly. So contrary to the narrative about him, this philosophy has been a much more peaceful and less interventionist, less pushing American interests on everybody else than other approaches. So I agree with your assessment completely.
Great, Professor Ball. Thank you very much that you took your time for this short conversation. We wish you all the best. Safe return to the United States, and probably we talk again and you tell us your impressions of the next very interesting months from the US, which are not totally irrelevant for the whole world, for other matters. So ich danke Ihnen ganz herzlich für die Aufmerksamkeit. Wir melden uns zurück.